can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So, a good performance from both teams.
Hi, you're watching Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, Pakistan cricket is in chaos again. Their sacked captain Mohammad Rizwan refuses to sign his new downgraded contract. What's at the heart of this? Is it a sign of yet another collapse waiting to happen in Pakistan cricket? Vinicius Junior is threatening to exit the club that even boycotted an awards night just to stand by him. What's the reason? Not getting along with the new coach Alonso, or is he just being difficult to please? And US President Donald Trump seems to be creating fissures at home. His tariff plans and visa restrictions seem to be having an adverse effect on his own athletes. Is there a greater anti-America sentiment growing in the sporting world? But first, the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with cricket, former India captain Rohit Sharma has dethroned Shubman Gill from the #1 ODI ranking at the age of 38. Rohit jumped 2 places to become the oldest Indian #1. This comes after his heroics in Australia. Rohit, with 202 runs across 3 matches, was the highest run scorer and the player of the series. On to football, Al Nassr captain Cristiano Ronaldo has lost his 13th title with the club. This after Ronaldo's team suffered a 1-2 loss to Al Ittihad in the Kings Cup round of 16. Ever since joining the Saudi Arabia side in 2023, Ronaldo has failed to win a single title. Over in tennis, world #1 Carlos Alcaraz was stunned at the Paris Masters. The Spaniard suffered a 6-4, 3-6, 4-6 first-round defeat to Cameroon Nouri. Alcaraz has failed 5 out of 5 times in his attempt at winning the title in Paris. On to chess, world chess champion Gukesh Domraju has slipped to last spot at the Clutch Chess Championship. After beating Hikaru Nakamura and Fabiano Caruana and taking the lead on day 1, Gukesh lost 2 matches to Magnus Carlsen. With this win, Carlsen has moved to the top spot. And in golf, US President Donald Trump's granddaughter, Kay Trump, is set to make her LPGA debut next month. She will take part at the Pelican Golf Club in Florida between November 13 and 16. Kay Trump recently launched an apparel and lifestyle brand aimed at empowering young women in sports. The more Pakistan tries to fix its cricket, the deeper it seems to sink. And this time, it's not just about poor performances or selection blunders. It's about something far more dangerous, a complete breakdown of trust within Pakistan cricket. Star players are being trolled, the board is in panic mode, and former captain Mohammad Rizwan has openly defied PCB chief Mohsin Naqvi. The dressing room is split, the management furious, and the system, it's collapsing from within. It's a crisis that's not just exposing cracks in Pakistan cricket, but it's exposing the entire foundation itself. Now, Pakistan has been a cricket-loving country, but lately it's turning everything it touches into chaos. They brought in Mike Hesson to revive the team's fortunes, but the results? Same old story. After the Asia Cup failure, a tied test series against South Africa, they've now been thrashed in the first T20, a 55-run humiliating loss in their own backyard. And the face of the fallout is Babar Azam, the golden boy of Pakistan cricket. The man who carried their batting hopes for years was dismissed for a duck. And instantly, trolls pounced. Social media turned toxic, mocking, blaming, and tearing him apart. But this story isn't about one bad innings. This is about a cricket board that's completely lost control of its own team, and a team that no longer knows who to trust. The PCB is fuming with poor results, and their reaction? It's bizarre. They scrapped Category A from the central contracts. What's Category A? That's the highest tier. It's reserved for the best and the biggest names. like Babar, Shaheen Shafridi and Mohammad Rizwan. Almost every cricket board employs the grade system for contracts. It comes with better pay, it comes with respect and recognition. But that move has backfired and spectacularly. Mohammad Rizwan, one of Pakistan's most respected and soft-spoken players, has reportedly refused to sign his central contract in protest of this. Now, this isn't a minor disagreement. This is open defiance. Remember, Rizwan was already stripped of his captaincy just earlier this month. Now, by refusing to sign, he's saying loud and clear, enough is enough. He's not just speaking for himself, he's echoing the frustration that's coming out of an entire dressing room that is quite simply tired of being treated like scapegoats all the time. Chairman Mohsin Naqvi, who once promised reforms and accountability, now finds himself surrounded by turmoil. The same Naqvi who mocked India for refusing to collect the Asia Cup trophy is now watching his own players refuse to pick up their contracts. It's deja vu for Pakistan cricket, history repeating itself. In 2019, players threatened to boycott matches over pay. Now the issue isn't just money, it's lack of respect. Babar's leadership and form was questioned. Shaheen's loyalty has been tested and Rizwan's defiance has blown open the board's authority. This isn't just a crisis, it's a power struggle. Meanwhile, fans are losing faith. Pakistan's social media is filled with despair, anger and memes that cut deep. Every defeat feels like another chapter in a long saga of dysfunction, where promises are made after every loss and chaos returns the very next week. And yet the PCB continues to spin this as a restructuring move. But let's be real here. This isn't restructuring, it's damage control that's disguised as reform. Scrapping Category A doesn't make your players more committed, it makes them resentful. Just like their endless game of musical chairs, especially when it comes to captains and coaches. They keep changing faces but never address the real issue, which is toxicity. The board wants obedience, the player wants respect, and neither side is willing to compromise, meet halfway. And the result, it's a team that looks united, but only in photos, and divided everywhere else. At the end of the day, Pakistan cricket doesn't just need a new strategy, it needs some soul searching. Because when a board stops valuing its players and players stop believing in their system, no talent, no coach, no reform can possibly save you. The losses will fade from memory if they bounce back. But the cracks within Pakistan cricket could scar the team for years to come. The real question here now is, can Pakistan fix its own house before the next big collapse comes? Or will their toughest opponents always be themselves? Real Madrid are flying high, unbeaten in the Champions League, top of La Liga and fresh from dominating Barcelona in El Clasico. Everything looks perfect on paper, but behind the scenes, the Banbao is simmering because the storm that's now brewing could tear through it all. And its epicenter is none other than Vinicius Junior. The golden boy of Brazilian football, the Samba of Madrid's attack, is reportedly unhappy and threatening to leave the club. And the man he's clashing with isn't just anybody there, it's Real Madrid's new boss, Xabi Alonso. It's shaping up into a power struggle, a battle of egos, philosophies and pride. And the burning question is Vinicius Junior becoming bigger than the badge itself. Under Carlo Ancelotti, Vinicius was untouchable. The entire team rallied around him. He had total freedom to dance, to dribble, to dazzle. He was Madrid's chaos agent, unpredictable, uncontainable, unstoppable. But Xabi Alonso, he's cut from a different cloth. He's more about discipline, geometry, control. He believes systems win titles, not stars, not solo performers. And that ideology was on full display in El Clasico over the weekend. 72 minutes in, Real were leading 2-1. Alonso looked to lock the game down, so he called for a change. Vinicius Junior was out, and what followed? A storm of visible frustration in the body language, in his mutters and his glares. Look, no one likes to get subbed. No one likes being subbed here. But when you question your coach's call, that's crossing the line. Alonso kept his composure though and cleared the air around this.
The only thing Vinicius was missing was a goal. It's true that he came off the pitch when he was feeling best, and I could have waited a bit to replace him. But I understood that we needed fresh players to maintain control.
That's diplomacy from a man trying to protect his dressing room. But make no mistake, that substitution exposed the fracture lines that's running through Madrid's glittering facade. Reports from Spain now say Vinicius feels underappreciated. He believes he deserves the same status and salary as Kylian Mbappe. The irony, first listen to this.
Eu só queria jogar futebol, só quero fazer de tudo pelo meu clube e pela minha família.
The Brazilian who said, "I just want to play football," now seems consumed by where he stands in the pecking order in his club. And Madrid's board, they are silent. They're calling it a locker room issue. Translation, we're not getting involved in this. But this silence speaks volumes because history tells us when Real Madrid back a coach, the rest fall in line. Right now, Alonso is Florentino Perez's chosen one. He's rebuilding the club's tactical DNA, and that means no player, not even Vinicius, gets to operate outside the system. And the tension isn't just with Alonso. Earlier this year, Vinicius clashed verbally with Dani Ceballos during a league match, then had an on-field argument with Luka Modric. Those moments hint at something running deeper. A player battling not just opponents here, but his own teammates' patience. Still, no one questions his talent. Vinicius remains electric, his pace, his flair, his fearlessness. It's all there, but brilliance without discipline can fracture a locker room. And Madrid's hierarchy knows that. Especially now, when Mbappe is thriving. Bellingham is bossing midfields, and the team finally looks united after a turbulent season. Alonso wants harmony, Vinicius wants headlines, and that's the collision course they're on now. Real Madrid have seen this play out in the past quite a few times. Ronaldo versus Mourinho, Bale versus Zidane. When egos clash, only one thing always happens. Someone leaves. And right now, murmurs say Vinicius is the one contemplating the exit. But leaving Madrid isn't just about leaving a club. It's walking away from destiny. So the question isn't just, will Vinicius Junior leave? It's whether he should. If Alonso can't tame Vinicius' fire, or if Vinicius refuses to be the team man Alonso wants him to be, then the club risks losing more than a player. They risk losing their spark. A country's leader impacts the people. This is quite obvious, but to what extent? USA President Donald Trump, since taking charge again, has surely shaken things up. While he's going ahead with his grand plans rather doggedly, many in his own country seem to be facing the heat, particularly the athletes. Latest episode was witnessed in baseball with the LA Dodgers and their beloved star player Shohei Ohtani being targeted by Toronto fans. Is Trump's grand plans of making America great backfiring on his own athletes? Now, the Winter Olympics and Paralympics is set to be held in Italy in February. That's close to 100 days from now. A countdown is about to begin. Now, ideally, the buzz should be just about that. The fact that all eyes will be on Italy to produce a dazzling games because the pandemic dampened the last edition of the Winter Games that was organized in Beijing. But as the 100-day countdown event in New York approaches, all talk is about a rising anti-American sentiment in the sporting world. And guess where this is coming from? It's the American athletes themselves. And then, of course, there is the added pressure of the Games, because while USA has managed to stamp its authority and class all over the Summer Olympics, the Winter Games has been a bit of a challenge. The last Winter Games they won was way back in 1932. Add to that the expectations of making history. At 330 medals, USA sits at number 2 spot in the tally of most medals won at the Winter Olympics, only behind Norway at 405 and with Germany snapping at their heels. So there is immense pressure to perform, but that's not What's topmost on the minds of these athletes? It's the worry that there will be hostility when they travel for the games. That's the wave of anti-American sentiment. And will that be too overwhelming and possibly crushing?
We have gotten questions from athletes who are wondering how they're going to be received. They certainly are conscious of how they might be perceived, and we are conscious of trying to help them feel really comfortable.
Imagine that when we talk of athletes in the US, we invariably picture champions, unbothered, unflinching, powering through one performance after the other and raking up all the medals, discarding competition and opponents like they didn't matter. That's not the America we are seeing, though, now. That statement doesn't say so. And that's because of one man alone. Let's come to the latest episode here. During the World Series Game 1 between LA Dodgers and Toronto Blue Jays some days ago, LA star Shohei Ohtani was welcomed by loud boos and chants of "We don't need you." But the taunts continued even earlier today in Game 4, and more so with the series now tied. Of course, it was also a direct response to Ohtani snubbing the Jays and going over to the Dodgers instead. But that was way back in 2023. What's obviously behind this animosity is also clearly US President Donald Trump and his not-so-subtle dig at making Canada the 51st state. Take the Ice Hockey Four-Nation tournament. The undertones of that clash recently was Trump threatening to do exactly this. Fans across the two countries were on tenterhooks, booing the opposition, jeering the national anthems. It had become a do-or-die battle, with the heads of state getting intensely involved. And that's just the tip of it all. Trump's rigorous tariff plans, the visa and travel sanctions have all managed to impact the psyche of his own athletes, who are facing heat for the war he started and are worried that these seemingly isolated incidents across baseball, across ice hockey, could actually translate to a more concerted and unified sentiment against them. And what better than an Olympics event to really witness the hostility unfold? Has Trump, in his quest to stamp his own authority, create his own impact the world over, failed to realize what repercussions that might have on his own athletes? Let's not forget there are big events coming along where USA plays host, events that need to be a success to validate Trump's charge and ambitions. And the people he will need on his side will most certainly have to be the sportspersons of his own country first. Time for last serve. As the excitement for the 2026 Winter Olympics builds, Japan and Austria have unveiled their kits. And while Japan went low-key with their unveiling, Austria did it with a lot of fanfare. Take a look. That wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll, of course, see you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care. Bye-bye.